So good to see you. Let's do our ritual of saying hello and greeting each other. My name is Lori. I'll be sitting with you today and speaking a bit. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, welcome everyone. So good to see all your faces and where you're at. Thank you for being here today. Thank you so much. And when you've completed all your hellos and greetings and welcomings, you can either put it on speaker view, if you prefer that while I'm speaking, or leave it on gallery view and just savor the presence of all of us. So Catherine and I have been speaking to kind of reviewing the parami of energy this week. And I've been thinking that energy can be experienced from several different perspectives. The level of energy, the quality of energy, as Catherine so beautifully spoke to. And the motivational quality of energy. I made a noise because I got a message I've never gotten before. Always something, always something. So the Buddha, and that aroused my energy. That made it ever so much more interesting. The Buddha taught us that the likelihood of a human birth, being born into a human life, is an extremely rare event. And I love the metaphors that were used by the Buddha in his day. As likely as a blind sea turtle in the middle of the ocean that only surfaces once every 500 years, raising its head through one single ring that's floating on all the oceans of the earth. So we're talking pretty rare here, rare being born into a human life. Not an animal, not a diva, not a demon, but a human life is a rarity. This rare human life is the most precious because only in a human life are we able to feel the sorrows as well as the happinesses and understand both the truth of suffering and the possibility of the end of suffering. This understanding, the Buddha said, provides the energy of motivation for perfecting our beneficial qualities, our wholesome qualities, in spite of, or sometimes because of, life's difficulties. Sylvia Boorstein comments on this in a lovely way. Oh my goodness, I'm having technical difficulties. I'm not sure why. There we go. And she says that understanding the impermanence of a human life, how quickly a human life passes, and how rare it is, inspires us to use our moments wisely and not squander our energy. And I don't know about you, but the older I get, the faster time goes. And the more I appreciate this sense of not squandering, not wasting my energy, as it seems also to diminish, at least physically. The Buddha is quoted as teaching, just as one whose clothes or head had caught on fire would exert extraordinary energy, effort, zeal to extinguish the flames, so should we practice. This metaphor of practicing as if our hair were on fire might seem to completely contradict Catherine's discussion of the need to cultivate a place of rest for our energies? How do we do both? How do we do both? However, from the hair on fire perspective, providing the energy, or some would call it the urgency, of making use of this one precious human life doesn't necessarily mean being frantic. Indeed, if we even just look concretely at our contemporary instructions for responding wisely if we do get caught on fire, they're the simple stop, drop, and roll. I imagine we may have all heard that, someplace in elementary school or somewhere else along the way. And this clearly emphasizes a non-frantic use of our energy. Notice the first part is to stop. Hold on, take a pause. The instructions say to cease any movement that might fan the flames. So how do we stop the frantic reactivity we're so conditioned to resort to in facing not just our hair on fire, but our world on fire? How do we not squander our energy or fan the flames that only increase our suffering? And this is just what Catherine spoke to in talking about cultivating a place to come in for a rest, for a pause, rather than using our energy in unhelpful ways to accumulate more stuff, to be more discontent with ourselves and other people, to get caught up in anger. As I talked about a couple of weeks ago, not creating any enemies. All these deeply culturally conditioned unhelpful habits create more suffering and are drains on our energy. They squander our precious energy, and we end up feeling more agitated or completely drained and lethargic. Bill has talked about noticing these extremes of unhelpful energies, and he suggests considering our energies on a scale of 1 to 10. With 10 being the extreme of restlessness, exuberance, agitation, or that tight, constricted, driven laser focus, gripping. And on the other end of the scale, 1 to 3 being lost in sloth and torpor, lethargic, dull, drifty, dreamy, unfocused, not caring energy. Both extremes aren't beneficial. Recognizing how to orient ourselves to that middle range, 4 to 6. Put a number on where your energy is right now, Bill says. Of balanced, alert, relaxed awareness. Again, what Catherine was speaking to, that restful, coming in for a landing place of energy, that Goldilocks spot, not too hot, not too cold, just right, as we practice learning what that feels like for us. And in addition to coming into this middle of the energy level continuum, the midpoint between agitation and dullness, we can also balance not just the level of energy, but the quality of our energy, the intersection, as if we had a graph of level of energy and quality of energy, the intersection between simple energy levels with the mindful, kind, restful awareness. That is what we are cultivating. And we often use the phrase as if it matters. And I was thinking, no, it's not as if, it's because it matters. cultivating this energy of balanced, easeful, peaceful awareness, engaged, interested, creates space for releasing, using the parami of renunciation, releasing our conditioned and limited view of ourselves and of our connections to all of life. This is wise, enlivening use of our energy. And that's what resonates with me. This is what brings meaning and purpose to my practice. This is important. I care about this practice. I care about this remarkable, unrepeatable moment and this one breath. That energizes me. That enlivens my practice. This mindful, compassionate energy is my antidote to the doubt that saps my energy. It's not about having more, fixing the world, not about being more productive. Rather, it's about being more present, more grateful, more appreciative. This is the meaning and purpose that energizes, as Catherine talked about, and that Mary Oliver so lovely describes in one of my favorite poems from her called The Summer Day. And I'd like to just read it. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who's eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who's gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? When indeed it feels like my hair, my world, the world around me is on fire. When there is grief and sadness and pain and struggle, I can remember to practice bringing forth the energy to release my habitual running around and stoking the fires of my mind and heart. We can cultivate the energy, as Mary Oliver describes, to be fully present to the world and ourselves in this moment. The energy that cultivates the space of caring for the world. And I have a print hanging on the other side of my office here that reminds me of this. It says, anyone can slay a dragon, he told me. But waking up each morning and loving the world all over again, that's what takes a real hero. A hero who has the courageous energy to rest in this moment. Thank you for your kind attention and energy of focus. Thank you so much for that. And so let's practice being restful heroes with our energy, not overly heroic and not underly heroic, but in that middle zone And beginning with attending to our bodies as we begin to settle in. Really paying attention to each moment, as Susan says, as if we're moving through water, slowly, mindfully, feeling what stretches are beneficial, what movements bring a bit more ease or softening or releasing, unknotting any tension and tangles, savoring each moment because it matters. How I attend to my body matters. To create the space from which I can be present and easefully aware and begin settling, noticing how the energies can come into that just right range. Not too high, not too low. And what do I need to do? Either to infuse some energy with maybe a deeper than usual in-breath and create a bit more spaciousness, or release some of the restlessness with a bit longer out-breath. Bringing my heart and mind to caring attention, the quality of attention, interested, curious, delighted awareness, because it matters. Allowing the breath to help orient my energies. To that beneficial, just right middle range. Playing around with what works for you to be at that just right intersection of level of energy and quality of energy. As we come in for landing, grounded, settled, easeful. And just notice, where is the energy now? And return again to that realm of restful, engaged, caring awareness. Just this moment, just this breath. Perhaps creating more space, a bigger pasture for restless energy to settle, or fine-tuning the lens to focus drowsiness more clearly. And taking perhaps the remaining few moments to drop in appreciation for the energy you've dedicated to your practice and the energy we share with each other in our Sangha. May we dedicate the energy generated by our practice to the benefit and well-being of all. I noticed when I went to ring my bell that I was muted. I hope I wasn't muted throughout the meditation. Oh, the mysteries of energy, the mysteries of energy. Let me unmute. And we can say our farewells and give our good wishes. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you for your teaching.
Watch out for wild energies.
Bye-bye.
Wild
Thank you,
energies. Take good care. Take good care. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
sweet to be with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was
Beautiful
beautiful
teaching.
Thank
It
you
was.
so much. Thank you. Thank you for your presence and your shared energy. Much love. Much love. Take good care.
Bye-bye.